Hello and welcome to Around the World in 274 Days. And today, as you can tell from the Opera House behind us, we are in Sydney, Australia. We're going to spend the day here doing a little exploring. I think we're going to go to the zoo as one of our stops, so that should be fun. Sydney is the capital city of the state of New South Wales and the most populous city in Australia. The Aboriginal Australians have inhabited the Sydney area for at least 30,000 years, and despite being one of the most expensive cities in the world, Sydney frequently ranks in the top 10 most livable cities. We bought an all-day hop-on, hop-off harbor pass that allowed us to get on the ferry as many times as we want during the day. And first stop, we took out to the Sydney Zoo, and it's a beautiful ride in the boat out there, and the grounds are beautiful. And as you'll see over the next little bit of this video, it was just a fun morning. We are at the Taronga Zoo, which is basically the Sydney Zoo. So we're just trying to find the entrance here. Well, we found the entrance to the zoo. It's quite impressive. And our first stop was the koala bears. And you know, there's two animals in Australia that it's famous for, koala bears, and you can guess the other one. Next creature we saw were capybaras. These are the world's largest rodents, and fascinating to watch them eat the leaves that these people were feeding them. These beautiful birds are called scaly-breasted lorikeets, and as you could tell from a little clip before, they're very noisy, but they're absolutely beautiful, and the color on them is incredible. You can also see that the color of their feathers is perfect camouflage for living up in the trees with the green leaves and the light that filters through. Now the kangaroo, the most famous of all Australian animals. It is actually the symbol of the Australian military. It's on their jet fighters and on their ships. And there's approximately 48 million of them in Australia. They're everywhere. And the zoo had a bunch of other interesting things for us. Turtles, star turtles, of course giraffes, and elephants. We didn't see any lions. But it was just a fun morning to be among the animals. After our time at the zoo, we got back on the hop-on, hop-off ferry and continued our trip. Right now we are in Darling Harbour, part of Sydney Harbour, and we're going to spend about the next hour or so just cruising around the harbour. Basically, I'm too tired to walk anymore, so we're going to just float around the harbor, which will be fun. Sydney is a fascinating city. It's modern, the people are friendly, but there are two structures that are famously linked to this city, and the number two is the Sydney Bridge, which we're passing under right now, and I'll have some more photos of that in a minute. But it is the 10th longest spanning arch bridge in the world. It measures 440 feet from the top to the water level, and it's also it was the world's largest or widest spanning bridge. It's 160 feet wide. Although the Port Mann Bridge in Vancouver is a little bit wider, and it was completed in 2012. Our final stop of the harbor tour was the pier right next to where our ship, the Serenade of the Sea, was tied up. And so we went by, saw a little bit more rust than was there when we set out 3 months ago, but she's still looking good. After a long day, it was good to head back and get back in our stateroom. And as I mentioned before, there's two structures that are famously connected to Sydney. This is the Sydney Bridge, and then the one that's probably the number one most famous is the Sydney Opera House. And I got some pictures of it. It's dusk, and then in the evening, it's just an absolutely beautiful structure. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to our channel Around the World in 274 Days. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we post a new video, which our next one will be in Newcastle, Australia. Thanks for watching.